Hey Canucks fans, are you ready for the biggest game of the season? It's the Vancouver Canucks, it's the St. Louis Blues. Puck dropped just after 4:30 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time PDT, and I can't wait. Yes, the biggest game of the season because both teams are tied in the standings. The Canucks have played one fewer game, but we don't want to use that as a crutch or an excuse or a reason or just have that in your heads. Just win this game outright. Because I saw some stats earlier today. If the Canucks win in regulation, their playoff chances go from mid-30s to mid-40%. But if they lose in regulation, it drops from mid-30s to under 20%, according to this one website I saw. If the St. Louis Blues win in regulation, their playoff chances go from 40% to over 50%. But if they lose in regulation, they drop to the mid-30s. So if the Canucks win in regulation, they'll be in the mid-40s playoff odds, and St. Louis will be below them in the mid-30s. And that's because, like I said, two teams are tied in terms of points, but the St. Louis Blues have played one more game. So you can imagine if the Canucks win in regulation, they go 2 points up on St. Louis, and St. Louis will still have played one more game. However, if St. Louis wins in regulation, then they go up 2 points on Vancouver, obviously, but Vancouver still has that game in hand. You don't want to assume that they win that game in hand. You don't want to rely on that game in hand. You just want to win outright. So I hope that the Canucks win in regulation today. I'm saying a score of 5-2. I think they're going to continue to keep the scoring floodgates open. I'm going Jake DeBrusk as the first Canucks goal scorer. So let's talk about this team. I know I said it's the biggest game of the season. You're going to say, well, Clay, weren't you calling last week's game? Wasn't everyone calling last week's game against the Calgary Flames the biggest game of the season? Yes, both can be true. Circumstances change. This is a new day, a new time, a new opportunity. And yes, the Canucks have played a couple more games since then. So when the Canucks beat the Flames in the shootout last Wednesday in Calgary, it was a huge game, and this game is even bigger. Now, speaking of Calgary and Utah, they are chasing Vancouver and St. Louis. Calgary has played the same number of games as Vancouver, but are 2 points behind. Utah has played one more game than Vancouver. Oh, no, sorry, other way around. Calgary has played one fewer game than Vancouver, and they're 2 points behind. Utah has played the same number of games as Vancouver and are 4 points behind. So you can see how there's a bit of separation, but not a lot. It would really help if Vancouver obviously wins tonight in regulation against the St. Louis Blues. Now, what will the Canucks have to do to beat this Blues team? A Blues team that has won 7 of their last 10. They have won the last 3. The Canucks are 5-5 in the last 10, but they have won the last 3 of 4. When the Canucks beat Winnipeg 6-2, they started fast, they scored quickly, they protected that lead, and they didn't take their foot off of the gas pedal. They're going to have to do a lot of the same tonight. And they're going to go with the same lineup as the team that beat Winnipeg on Tuesday, except for one change. Connor Garland draws in back into the lineup for Jonathan Lekkerimäki. And the way the lines are listed, it's kind of interesting. They have Garland and Joshua on the fourth line. I wouldn't call them fourth line players, but maybe that's just the way they usually do the lines by the caliber of the center. And that's how you list the lines. Who knows what ice time is going to look like. But I do know that 3 of the 4 Canucks forward lines all contributed with big goals against Winnipeg. So tonight, it's Elias Pettersson between Nils Höglander and Brock Boeser. They all had big games on Tuesday night, but we especially remember that beautiful rush play, that give and go between Boeser and PD over to Höglander in the slot, beating Hellebuyck with 3 seconds left in the first period to make it 3-1. That was actually the game-winning goal. So first line, PD, Höglander, and Boeser. Your second line is Pius Suter, with 20 goals now on the season between Kiefer Sherwood and Jake DeBrusk. And remember their goal, it was the 5th goal of the game, where a bit of insurance, where Sherwood it was DeBrusk that dug up the puck behind the net, got it to Sherwood on the side. Beautiful pass in the paint to Pius Suter, his first of 2 goals on Tuesday night. So that's the second line, Suter between Sherwood and DeBrusk. Our third line is Teddy Bluger with Drew O'Connor and Linus Karlsson. And they had the opening goal of the game. Remember, Karlsson took that big hit at the Winnipeg bench, and then the puck went into the neutral zone, and it was Bluger over to Hughes. Hughes with a beautiful pass to O'Connor with the one-timer, and that was the opening goal of the game just 5 minutes into the game on Tuesday night. So all 3 lines, you can remember their goals, and then Suter an empty netter. Boeser had a power play tally on a deflection, and then there's one other one that I can't remember right now. So those were the goals that and then the best of the one that we jammed it past Hellebuyck. Then our fourth line, like I mentioned, is Nils Åman between Dakota Joshua and Connor Garland. Don't like them as a fourth line, but like I said, they're kind of listed by the center, and Garland and Joshua have, of course, shown great chemistry with whatever center they play with, whether it was Teddy Bluger or Pius Suter last season. On D, it's interesting. It's not Hughes and Hronek. It's Hughes and Myers, and that pair is just fine with me. Myers is playing very well, and Hughes is an all-star, elite, as you know. And then our second pairing, which I really like, is Marcus Pettersson with Philip Hronek. Hronek's been playing very well. Pettersson's been okay. And then our third pairing of Derek Forbort with defenseman, DPD, Elias Pettersson. So we always said that no matter how they construct that top four, whether it's Hughes, Hronek, Marcus Pettersson, and Myers, or Hughes, Myers, Marcus Pettersson, Hronek, it usually leaves, now with the departure of Carson Soucy, it leaves three guys to rotate into those final two spots of Derek Forbort, DPD, and Mancini. And when Mancini is the odd man out, like he is tonight, once again, then one of DPD or Forbort have to play on the off side, the right side. In goal, it's Kevin Lankinen, it's Artur Shilovs backing up. Thatcher Demko, very interesting that Rick Tocchet talked about him today, and he's getting very close to playing, and because he's been a full participant at practice. So I fully expect him to play during this 6-game road trip. Rick Tocchet wasn't committed to say that he has to be a backup first. Like I've never understood that reasoning. Why do you have to sit on the bench? If you're ready to go, you're ready to go. And that's kind of what Rick Tocchet said too. There's no need to be sitting on the bench. You're not going to do any, unless you get in the game, of course, which is another story. Sitting on the bench is the same as sitting in civvies in the press box. So I think if Demko's ready to go, he will play, and I expect that to be sometime during this New York swing of their 6-game road trip. So there we go, Canucks fans. There's our lineup, the exact same lineup as the team that beat Winnipeg on Tuesday, except for one change, Garland in for Lekkerimäki. So one more time for the people in the back: PD, Besser, Höglander, Suter, Sherwood, DeBrusk, Bluger, O'Connor, and Carlson, and then a fourth line of Aman between Garland and Joshua. Quinn Hughes with Tyler Myers, Marcus Pettersson with Philip Hronek, Derek Forbort with DPD, Lankinen starting, Shilovs backup, Thatcher Demko ready in the wings for sometime later in this road trip. What's your prediction? I kind of said mine off the top. I said 5-2 Canucks. I love it when they light up Jordan Binnington. I don't like Binnington. I only like him when he plays for Team Canada, but let's get back to lighting him up. Yes, it's a good St. Louis Blues team, but they're missing Colton Parayko. So let's see what the Canucks can do. One of these teams' hot streak is going to hit a bit of a bump, and I sure hope it's the St. Louis Blues. Thank you to my legends, legendary Lucas Gates, legendary Andrew Chang. Thank you to my Hall of Fame and franchise members as well. Thank you for your support, and thanks to all of you for watching, liking, and subscribing. Thanks to my sponsors, Van City Experts Real Estate, Coach Patrick Lee, Weight Loss Coach. And on your way out, you can like the video, you can subscribe, you can leave a donation if you want, a tip to help me out. But most importantly, leave me your score prediction and your first Canucks goal scorer. And just tell me, how pumped are you for tonight's game? I'm doing double duty tonight. After the game, join me and Mark Shankita on Game Over Vancouver. I love going back to Game Over Vancouver, helping them out and chatting with Mark. And then my own show, Clay's Canucks Commentary, at the end of the night, the nightcap at 11 p.m. Hopefully we are talking about a big Canucks win. Okay, friends, stay safe, stay healthy, take care of yourselves, and take care of each other. God bless, and go Canucks go.